Welcome, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well today. I want to welcome you if you're coming over from my other channel, Solara Speaks. I want to welcome those of you who, have been here with me from the start of this particular channel. Welcome those of you who've joined along the way, and welcome to my newest subscribers. We're growing, and I want to thank you for 1K subscribers. That's absolutely amazing. Yes, so I'm here today to do what I'm calling like a mid-moon report. So we're like a week out of the full moon in Capricorn, and we are a week away from the new moon in Gemini. So I want to go into the energies a little bit that are happening at the midpoint, and I use the art of tarot astrology, which means I'm not an astrologer. I'm not classically trained in any way in astrology, but I have been trained by my guides and, past life wisdom. I have been trained to understand the energies of astrology by way of the tarot, both the major and the minor arcana. So as such, when I do these readings, or if you come to me for even your personal tarot astrology, I break it down by way of the astrology that's being shown in the chart, but I break it down through the tarot energies, numerology, and then any other channeled messages when it's collective, and also when I do personal reports, it's any channeled messages that are coming through, especially streaming from the part of your Akasha that is connected directly to your chart. Okay, so for those of you who would like to book tarot astrology readings or reports with me, all that information will be in the description box below. I am offering for a limited time tarot astrology readings as opposed to reports. And that is offered at a lower price because it's either an audio, a video, or one-to-one mentoring session, and it's not like a 30-page typed channeled report, which would be the reports I offer that are written. So anyway, let me get into these energies. We are in Cancer season. We are in Cancer season. We're all in our feels right now, right? Let me pull up the astrology for where we are right now. Okay, let's see. So right now the sun is at 4 degrees Cancer. Sun is at 4 degrees Cancer. That 4-degree energy is a Cancer degree, for one thing. So we got a lot of Cancer energy going on right now, right? And then we're going to get into this too, but Mercury is also getting ready to move into Cancer in a couple of hours. So that's going to switch up the way we communicate. It's going to be more about expressing from the heart. And ultimately, this is what that Cancer energy is actually preparing us for overall. And this is what every year, as we go through the revolution of the zodiac wheel, these energies are here to assist us into coming into deeper alignment with the light of our soul's truth. And Cancer energy is the bridge between our mind and our heart. So Gemini energy is very connected, is very much about the mind, right? But it's also connected physically to the hands, to the taking out of this wisdom that we acquire by way of spirit, because Mercury is very much about our communication with spirit and how we take that out into the world in all manner of ways. And Leo is about the heart, and Cancer is the bridge between the two. It's what either unites or separates, and you're going to see a lot of that behavior occurring right now, because if people are not utilizing the fullness and the power of this energy to, what I like to say, I did a video about this on my other channel last night, if people are not utilizing the power of this energy to heal, their emotional frequencies that are in discord with who they really are, then they're going to feel this in ways that they're going to feel and react in ways that are not going to cater to their own evolution or the integration or the truth of what these energies are here to do for their own soul's evolution. Okay, so at 4 degrees, this is real Cancerian energy. We're all in our fields with this, right? But 4 is also the energy of setting foundations. 4 in the tarot is the Emperor card. So there's something here with the Sun in 4 degrees Cancer energy. There's something being established right now, and we can say that it's being established very much so in the energy of emotions in the heart space, but really because this first decan of Cancer energy is connected to the Two of Cups, and Cancer energy in the major arcana is the Chariot. Then what we're going through right now is the integrations that we need emotionally to come into proper alignment with those who are in tune with the harmony of our souls. So those who work harmoniously with our divine truth as expressed through our true emotional resonance. And when I say our true emotional resonance, very few of us have had the opportunity to walk in the fullness and the truth of who we are as emotional beings, because we lived in a world, in a matrix system, amongst other people who had silenced that part of themselves. And the whole point of, the system, society, the matrix was to get us all to do that. And to that extent, we've all heavily repressed, we've all heavily repressed who we are emotionally. And when you repress who you are emotionally, you see, this is all very cunning how they did this. When you repress who you are emotionally, when you repress the fullness of what you're feeling and experiencing as an emotional being, you lock yourself out of reaching the true resonance or the true frequency of your heart. So you are therefore not able to walk in divine alignment, because the way to access your light body, which ultimately helps you to connect to all aspects of self and helps you to connect multidimensionally and gives you access to every part of you that is expressed cosmologically, really. The way you are able to do that is through the heart space. Okay, it's why with the Egyptian goddess Ma'at, when the ancient Egyptians died, right? We take it very literal. It's not necessarily a literal death. This is every time we transform and we have the ability to go higher, we come to Ma'at for that balancing. Is your heart lighter than a feather? Because your heart being lighter than a feather means that your heart is free of the wounds and the blocks that have kept you out of connecting with your heart's truth, of connecting with your true emotional resonance, in order for you to be able to utilize the power of your heart to drive your light body. Okay, so Cancer season is the energy that gives us access to our light bodies. And not for nothing, we are in a very heavy Cancer energy year, because 2023, when you break down those numbers, it breaks down to the number 7. And the number 7 in the tarot is connected again to the Chariot. So that's the Cancer energy, and it's connected to the Tower. So from the standpoint of Tower astrology, this year is the year of the Chariot and the Tower. And the Towers must fall within first as well as without in order for the Chariot to move forward. The Chariot is your light body. The Chariot is you walking in the fullness of who you are divinely, completely restored into your whole state, and therefore able to access all that you are cosmologically, literally the calling of who you are in the cosmos down from the heavens into your earthly body experience and reality. This is what this energy is here to facilitate you doing. But the way to access that, the way to move forward in that, means that you must access your true heart's frequency, your true heart's resonance. And the Cancer energy, not only this season, but the entirety of this year has been helping us. And I would argue it's not even been this year, it's been for the past 3 years. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but when the North Node was in Cancer 3 years ago this time, when we had the final eclipse of the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn in the midst of lockdown, that year, 2020, not only did we have that mammoth eclipse midsummer, but we also had the first full moon of the year, 2020, was in Cancer. The closing full moon in 2020 was in Cancer. This Cancer energy is connected to the mother. It's connected to the divine mother. It's connected to the bringing back of the divine feminine principles that have been lost. Okay, now there is a bringing back also of divine masculine principles that have to come into balance, and that is more of to do with the Capricorn energy, but also planetarily what's happening with Mars. But in terms of the energy that Cancer directly is in line with, it's fourth house, so it's to do with home, it's to do with the divine mother, it's to do with mothering, it's to do with you know, your ancestry, and it's specifically with the things that you have inherited and you're passing down matrilineally if you are a woman. Okay, so or you know, you don't have to be a woman to pass things down matrilineally, but if you're a mother, you know, this is what Cancer season is challenging us all in this area of how we've been mothered and how we mother. And when I say how we mother, you don't have to be, you don't have to have biological children to hold this mothering energy that needs to be resurrected. You could hold that energy for the collective you've been sent to serve, but even more importantly, that energy must reside within, because that mothering energy is how you remother your inner child, and that's the energy of Leo. And Leo is connected with your heart and the expression of your heart's truth. And because of how we've been mothered based upon how the systems, you know, the systems, traditions, you know, all of these family systems that have ultimately been rooted and, you know, rooted and that energy magnified, the energy of dysfunction. It's what has ultimately contributed to us as children being wounded and being taken out of our true heart's resonance. And this energy right now, this 4 degrees of Cancer especially, but not even just this 4 degrees, the entirety of this season is here to help us rebirth our true emotional resonance. It's here to help us to remother that part of ourselves that ultimately died in childhood. And in the video that I did on Solar Speaks yesterday, I went into the details of how, you know, it's ultimately our mothers who give us our foundation for who we are emotionally, because they are the ones who are programming the division of our cells in utero. And the division of our cells and the programming is based upon the energies they hold mentally, but especially emotionally, because it's through the emotions that things come to life. It's why even you're birthed through water. The emotions are connected to water. So this is a really a big time and a big opportunity for us to literally rebirth how it is that we feel, and how it is we express how we feel, and how it is that we choose to interact with beings who either accept that or reject it. And it's time right now, because we are in this grand union window that the new moon in Gemini opened that I spoke about in the last video. It's time right now to honor our emotional experience, and to only be around those who reflect that that energy of reverence and honor for who we are emotionally back to us. In other words, it's no longer okay for us to be in situations where people say we're too much. If you're too much for somebody, then, you know, most of the time it's not even that you're too much for them. It's that they're repressed and they want to repress you. But that's their issue and that's their problem. It's time for us to go out there and find the other weirdos, you know. Not that like expressing yourself should be a weirdo thing, but unfortunately, we've lived in a world where those of us who wear our hearts on our sleeves, we've been made to feel like there's something wrong with us, when really there was never anything wrong with you. There's not anything wrong with us. There's something inherently wrong with the system that wants to program you out of your truth. So the Cancer energy is here to help you reprogram yourself by way of your own, the work that you want to do on yourself. You're reprogramming. We're in this grand womb space. I like to think of the Cancer energy as being the waters of the womb. It's the amniotic fluids. We're in the amniotic fluids right now, and we have this awesome opportunity to reprogram who we are emotionally and to start showing up in our emotional truth. And not only like with ourselves, but with others, because this Two of Cups energy is all about like-minded. And not like-minded, it's not even like-minded, it's like-hearted. It's like-hearted unions and partnerships. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be friendship. It can be business partnerships. It can be mothers with children, fathers with children. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it does speak of like these deep and high levels of intimacy, because there is such a profound respect for who another person is and giving them the room and the space they need to fully express that without trying to repress them because of our own stuff, right? So the spotlight right now is on this 4-degree mark, and I would venture to say that even the 4-degree is the introduction right now of the father energy into all of this too, because people get on me all the time because I talk a lot about this divine mother energy, but that's because that's the energy that I hold. I have risen divine mother frequencies. People who come into my energy, they can't help but begin to heal mother wounds, because that's just the resonance that I hold. That's one of my my powers, that even my astrology articulates it beautifully. I hold divine mother codes, and so it's an energy that I resonate with very, very deeply. And it doesn't mean that I'm not able to really connect with also the whole purpose and the beauty and the power of other energies, including, you know, the divine father, because the divine mother energy ultimately loves the divine father, and I love and I adore the divine father energy that comes in to support the divine mother energy. But directly, the divine mother energy is what came through me and what comes through me and what ministers through me to help heal. Okay, so that's why I talk about it a lot, and this is why when Cancer season comes around, or full moon in Cancer and new moon in Cancer, I'm just like, yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about remothering ourselves, you know. But the 4 degrees is connected to the Emperor, and what's coming through for me right now is taking a look at, because the truth is that the majority of us have been raised by, we have been raised by mothers who did not have the emotional resonance and integrity to raise us in accordance with our divine natures, because they had mothers who didn't have that. You know, that the cycle has continued and it's stopping with us, right? But because of that, you know, if you're vibing with me, you're probably all come from some level or degree of dysfunction when it comes to the relationship you've had with your mother, and therefore how it is you've been able to connect emotionally with others. And this 4 degree is interesting because there's something to do with the entry now of the father energy, and how the father, what I'm really getting here is a lot of this. This is why we can't blame one energy over the other, because it takes a toxic feminine energy for a toxic masculine energy to stay alive. It takes a toxic masculine energy for toxic feminine energy to stay alive. It takes a distortion of both for the energy to stay in that state, right? So when we're talking about, you know, these distorted feminine energies that have contributed to the maternal models that have ultimately wounded us as children and wounded generations, we cannot look at that and not take into account the father. And a lot of the time, the issue here is that the father is absent in this emotional, in this formation of your emotional foundation. And for many, it's not even a physical absence, it's an emotional absence. But that's what makes all the difference. So it's almost like there is an energy entering now where we are about to begin to see how our father wounds have contributed ultimately to the mother wounds, how a lot of them were so permissive, or you know, a lot of them were so permissive, and also kept themselves separate from parenting, you know, from being a hands-on parent. There was a, like, I know for me, growing up, it was mothers that did everything, and even now that we've changed and we have this idea of more equality in the roles of father and mother, it's still there's still something to be said about the pressure on rearing children being placed on mothers, specifically in relationships where, I'm not talking about single fathers, because single fathers, you guys are the bomb, but I'm talking about in relationships where, you know, fathers and mothers are still together or are still co-parenting their children. A lot of the responsibility for how your child turns out, especially behavior, school, all of that stuff, it tends to often fall on the mother, and then the discipline energy falls on the father. I mean, how many of you remember hearing that, just wait till your father gets home, and that was enough to whip you into line? But that was like your mother's last, you know, like final, like her final bargaining chip kind of thing. And oftentimes it was something that was used just to put the fear of God into you. And, you know, anyway, this energy of the 4 degrees is introducing the energy of taking a look at the male distortions or the fatherly distortions, but it's also giving a beautiful, it's helping the divine father energy to rise, because of course, I'll get into this in a few days, but we have this beautiful full moon happening in a week's time in Capricorn, and the degree it's going to be in, it's going to be 11 degrees Capricorn, and of course 11 degrees Cancer. The sun will be at 11 degrees Cancer, and the moon will be at 11 degrees Capricorn. It's really beautiful because it's like the sun is that masculine energy. In terms of planets, the sun is that kind of fatherly energy too, and the moon is the motherly energy. And it's almost like they're switching roles, and they're about to start to see things from a different perspective. The divine father is going to be able to connect with the plight of the divine mother, and the divine mother is going to be able to connect with the plight of the divine father. And what does that mean for us? It means that we're going to be able to have more compassion for those sides of us within as well as without. In other words, many of you who are in union or coming into union, you're going to start seeing, if you identify with being a divine feminine, you're going to start having more compassion for who your divine masculine is and what it is he's had to go through. And if it's the other way around, it's the same thing. There is an opportunity here to bridge a gap. That's the Cancer energy. It's a bridging the gap of between the mind and the heart. And the mind is masculine logic, and the heart is it's a masculine energy because it's Leo, right? But at the same time, it is your heart is connected to your emotions, so it has this feminine resonance. So emotions are feminine energy; they're, you know, magnetic, and thoughts, the mind, is masculine, electric energy. So the Cancer energy is like the bridging. It's the mediator. So we're having this beautiful time leading up to this full moon where both signs, both the sun and the moon, are going to be at 11 degrees, 11-11. And so we have the sun, which is the father energy, exploring the mother, which is Cancer energy. And we've got the moon, which is the mother energy, exploring the Capricorn energy, which is the divine father. Yes, so we have this kind of a flipping of energies in order to bring into a higher sense of balance and wholeness within ourselves, but also in how we move forward executing our intimate relationships with one another, because we're still focusing right on 2 of Cups. And then when we move into the second decan of Cancer, we're going to start looking at the 3 of Cups, but we'll get into that next week. And that's where 2 become to come together, and there's an added cup, and that cup is oftentimes the cup of healing, but it can also be argued that that is the presence of God or presence of source blessing that union, right? It can be interpreted in so many ways, but this whole what we're going through right now, internally and externally, for those of you who are in union or coming into union, is having this whole like flip of energies where there is this receptivity that the masculine energy is able to get a hold of, because it's really able to, if it wants to, understand and overstand the feminine energy, and the same for the feminine energy. There's been so much discord and disparity that has been caused specifically in the genders in order to keep us at war within ourselves. And what we're going through right now is this energy is here to facilitate us coming back into a state of peace with one another, but first within self, because the energy of the war that has been without has been a reflection of the war within. And this is why at every turn, this system we've lived in has done everything to wound us and then exploit that wounding to keep us at war in self. So then from our emotional resonance becomes fragmented, and we create very powerfully from that state of fragmentation, and we produce a world that is fragmented, and there's war, and there's chaos, and there's confusion, and there's no peace. And so right now we're having this beautiful opportunity to come back into the fullness of union, our masculine and feminine energies within self, and to also reflect that in the way that we are coming together with others, irregardless of gender or or whether it's romance or not. Although these energies right now are really here also to facilitate those of you who are coming into divine union, and those of you who are here to by way of your unions, to seed the new earth with these new earth relationship dynamics that are healthy and are balanced and are respectful, and where love, once again, is sacred. Okay, so it's really beautiful. Right now the moon is 11 degrees Libra, so we've got this beautiful balancing act, and we've got the 11-degree mark. A week before, the sun and the moon are going to be at that 11-11 energy again. So we have, again, this energy of the 11. 11 is the call of the light worker. It is the age of Aquarius number, because the 11 is connected to the 11th house. So it's very interesting that today we're here with this 11 degrees Libra. 11 is actually, well, it is an Aquarian degree in astrology, but in tarot, the 11 is the Libra degree. So it's connected to the Justice card. So like I said, this is a beautiful thing, because with this 4-degree mark, like I said, there's an entry of masculine energy through the Cancer sign coming through right now because of the Emperor. There is an entering point for masculine energy right now, expressing itself through the Cancer energy, through the mother energy, through the deep womb energy. It's coming through. It's coming through to bring structure, but there's also an emotional balancing that's happening right now to our inner masculine energy, and to, you know, to men especially, or those who connect more with their divine masculine energy. There is an opportune time right now for like profound healing of our masculine energy by way of this divine mother acceptance. Yes, because the divine mother is accepting. She is she's like that energy of like, you know, they're saying to me, you know, how like that statement, he's got a face or she's got a face that only a mother could love. Like, I know that's really mean, but it's true. It's like when you are really connected with motherhood and you look at your children, I mean, yeah, you can see their flaws, but really more than anything, you can see their beauty, you can see their potential, and You're accepting of them. You're not trying to pick them apart. That picking apart of our children is something we've learned from our mothers, who learned it from their mothers, and it's their own. It's their own wounding and the self-hatred they have that they then project onto us, because we are their mirrors as children, or they are our mirrors as children. And the Divine Mother in her, she's accepting. She's accepting of you at any stage, any level, whatever it is you're going through. The Divine Mother is there to accept you and to comfort you through it until you find yourself again, because we all get lost at times, and the Divine Mother doesn't judge that. She doesn't judge. She's all accepting. And as such, she is a safe space for us to become. She is a safe space for us to test. She is a safe space for us to experiment while we grow deeper into our truth, because sometimes we have to veer off course to come back to where it is that we ultimately need to be. And if we don't veer off course, then we don't actually... when we come into alignment, it's not as powerful, if that makes sense. Sometimes the veering off course is what gives the alignment even more power. And the Divine Mother realizes that. And when she sees her children going off course, she doesn't judge them. She holds that space for them to do that with the trust that they are beings with their own ability to self-correct and to bring themselves back. Whereas the Divine Father energy is more like trying to put things into place, because they're concerned more with structure and discipline and you know, more Saturnian energy. But the Divine Mother is here for you just to fall into and to be until you're able to rise again. No judgment, right? And so this is what she's providing for that masculine energy. This is what many of you, if you hold that Divine Mother energy, that's what you're providing for the masculine energy right now. The ability for them to just collapse and to trust that they're going to rise again. Because so many of them have carried so much. They've carried so much, and they've never been given the opportunity just to fall apart. And we all should be given that opportunity to fall apart, because it's in the falling apart that we build ourselves up taller and stronger. But nothing in this matrix system ever lets you fall apart, even in the midst of all of the pressures and the craziness they put you under. And the Divine Mother has this bosom, and she's here. It's okay. It's safe for you to fall apart. I'm going to hold you until I'll hold you, and I'll be that safe container until you put yourself back together again. Okay. So we have Mercury. We have Mercury, and I think we're only going to go through this until, you know, maybe until Jupiter. Well, we'll see. I always say that, and then I get excited. So let me not put any limitations, you know. Not put any limitations. Another thing that I want to share with you is coming through also. You know, the Divine Mother is an energy that caters to the void, which is the darkness that so many people are afraid of. It's the darkness that so many of us are afraid of. It's in the void that nothing is, and yet everything is. And because it's that energy where everything must fall apart to be built, it's a chaotic energy. And we have to embrace that. Oftentimes, like, that's the whole veering off course to come back. You must be comfortable with falling apart. You must be comfortable with letting things collapse. You must be comfortable with leaning into the chaos if you want to find the order. And the masculine energy comes in and helps. When that masculine energy, or the Divine Father energy, is walking in divine alignment, then what it's here to do is to lovingly come in when the time is right, to begin to provide that structure to the chaos, so that it can be, everything can be erected and resurrected the way now it's supposed to be, from what the chaos has birthed, from what the chaos has taught, from what the darkness has wielded within our own souls. So it's very profound, these energies, the way they work and the way that they're working together, and they're coming together now within us, and within how we now learn how to relate and seed in these new earth relationship dynamics where we see one another. We see one another, and we can all embody this. Whether we're male, female, non-binary, it doesn't matter. We can all embody these energies of you know, the Divine Mother. We can be that safe container for someone to fall apart until they find their way back into their truth. You know, and I'm not talking about abusing. I'm not talking about people who abuse and steal your energy. I'm talking about people who are genuinely wanting to come into alignment, but in order to do that, they have to get lost a little and explore the boundaries and the limitations that have been placed upon them by self, by the matrix, by their own wounds. And that includes the ability to, like I said, collapse and fall apart, you know? So Mercury is right now 29 degrees Gemini, but won't be for too much longer. Mercury has been helping us to assimilate and integrate our Christ mind, which is also what is helping us to connect with this emotional resonance that is now allowing us to let go of a lot of this baggage that has tried to get us to be something that it's so hard to be. Being you shouldn't be difficult. Excelling at being what you came here to be and doing what you came here to do shouldn't be difficult. It becomes difficult when there's resistance. It becomes difficult when we're pushing ourselves too hard. It becomes difficult when we're trying to be something we're not. It becomes difficult when we're trying to live up to someone else's standard. It becomes difficult when we lose ourselves trying to walk in accordance with someone else's rules instead of connecting with our own hearts and our soul's truth. And so this Christ-mindedness that we've gained by way of this this Gemini energy from Gemini season, and then also this Mercury in Gemini that has been speaking to us. Gemini energy has still been speaking to us in the beginning of Cancer season, is now helping us to think broader about how we emote and how we connect, and the limitations, the emotional limitations we place on ourselves. And in doing so, we also place on others. Because anytime that we are repressing ourselves emotionally, you can bet that you are repressing another person emotionally. And it will come across, especially if you guys are coming into divine union or you're in divine unions, anytime you try to repress yourself emotionally, you will repress the other person, and you will create a pocket of resistance between the two of you, because these relationships are so energetically dense. So you can't not be true to yourself and it not have an effect on the shared energy and on the other person too. So this Mercury in Gemini is helping us to have the expansion of mind and the consciousness that supports this new birthing of the wholeness of who we are emotionally. And so now Mercury is about to move to the 0 degrees Cancer energy, and it's going to really start getting us thinking about... I was trying to see if Venus is going retrograde anytime soon. No. Not in the next few days, at least. Neptune is going retrograde, I think, on Friday or Saturday. But anyway, this Mercury in Cancer energy, I think I lost myself now. This Mercury in Cancer energy is coming forth now to help us be able to receive the fullness in our minds. Remember, this Cancer energy is here to help us bridge the gap and help us to marry the heart to the mind. And so the Mercury energy in Cancer is coming now to help expand our own thinking and expand our own mental experience with our emotional resonance and with what we are able now to express. There's been a lot of repression, and people haven't even realized they've been repressing themselves because it's just become a part of the everyday. And they don't realize, especially because we're dealing right now with mothering energies through the Cancer, they don't realize how much they repress their own inner child, and they keep themselves locked in cages because they can't express the fullness of who they are, because that was wounded in them as children. And they continue to do that. We continue to do that. And if we're mothers, we continue to do that too. So right now, if you are a mother, I am a mother, so I know this. our mothering is under scrutiny right now. If we allow it to make us better mothers, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to allow us to make us better mothers, mothers that are more in alignment with these new earth energies and these new earth children, where we don't have to be so, you know, like helicopter parenting, where we are safe enough in ourselves, and we trust ourselves enough, and we trust the divine enough that we can just let our children be who they are without trying to put limitations on them based upon our own fears, right? So a lot of this is dealing with that within. It's dealing with how we've gotten that from our mothers, how we're mothering our children, how we're mothering our inner children, how we're healing our inner children. You know, are we healing our inner children from the perspective of the divine mother, or are we healing our inner children from the perspective of distortions, of distorted mother energy still? So all of this is coming up right now. Is a big month for, you know, a big season. Everyone's all in their feels right now. Everyone. For better or for worse, because it caters to this beautiful energy of intimacy and love and romance. But whenever you go into that energy of intimacy, love and romance, you will be challenged to deal also with your wounds if you want to sustain that, right? So then we've got Venus. We're going to wrap this up because we're already 40 minutes in. We've got Venus at the 17-degree mark of Leo. So she's still in Six of Wands energy. She's still telling us to connect with what makes us feel good, with what helps us connect to the joy that we had as children, to what helps us connect to the fullness and the truth of our own heart's resonance before that was lost by wounding and repression and people telling us that we can't be what it is that we know that we are. And the 17-degree mark is a degree of Leo, so it's double Leo energy. And astrologically speaking, it's a degree of Leo. In tarot, it's a degree that's connected to Aquarius energy, which is Leo's sister sign. That's the star card. That's what gets you into alignment to shine. The star card gets you into alignment, the 17 position, in order to shine, the Leo energy. But you notice how the star and the Leo, the bridging of the gap is the moon, which again is the Cancer energy. You got to go deep. Once it comes into alignment, you got to still deal with those things that are blocking the fullness of the shine. So that's the heart blocks a lot of the time. So it plays itself out in the tarot too. So right now we've got this Aquarian energy that's also daring us, you know, because that's it. You know, Leos and Aquarians are really funny. I'm a Leo sun, right? And I've had one of my former best friends was an Aquarius, and we were just like hilarious together because Leos are already like very bold. We want people to shine. We want to see the best in you when we're in our you know, evolved state. That's the truth. We want to see you shine. We want to see you in your power. We want to see you, you know, have fun. We want to see you connect with your joy. We want to see you connect with your childlike playfulness. We want to see all of that, right? And the Aquarius energy is like, we just want you to be whoever the fuck you are. Like, they're really like, they're like Leo in a very different way. And when they come together, they can be such a dynamic duo when both energies are resonating in their higher octaves. So right now we have the Venus and 17 degrees in Aquarius, like the Aquarian energy is like, fuck yeah, you know, and Leo energy is like, shine. And they're like together with Venus, and they are, Venus is challenging us again. Are you living a life that you love? You know, are you being true to yourself? Are you being authentic? Are you, because if you're not, it's not going to feel right. If you're not being authentically yourself, it's not going to feel right. And history has shown us that. You know, it doesn't matter how much, how many worldly accolades you're able to accrue if you have to get them by pretending to be someone you're not. Because at the end of the day, when you go to bed, you're going to feel that. You're going to feel that resonance in your soul, because your soul does not like it when you pretend to be something that you're not. And that was ultimately what was Lucifer's sin, quote unquote. Like, people say all the time, and first of all, Lucifer and Satan are not the same being, just so we're clear. Lucifer fell from heaven not because he tried to be as God. Lucifer was a God particle. He was created in God's image too. You know, he didn't fall from grace because he tried to be as God. Lucifer fell from grace because he tried to be something other than himself. And he had to find the way back to self, the beauty that he had that would make him want to be something other than who he was. It's why he's called the light bearer, the light bringer, right? And this is very connected to Venus. Lucifer and Venus energy are very interconnected. Okay, so I don't know why I'm sharing that, but this is something about, it's about reconnecting. It's about finding your way back to your truth and yourself. Without that, when you're not walking in the light of your truth and who you are and who you came here to be, and in your Aries, I am truth energy, you will fall from grace every time. And you will have to pick yourself up and find your way back. You know, and the Venus energy is like, you know, the Venus in Leo energy at 17 degrees, the 6 of Wands, you know, the victory energy, and then the Aquarian energy of the 17 is just like, live your life. Live your life. You know, like that Rihanna and T.I. song, that's what I'm hearing. Live your life. Mars, 21 degrees Leo. It's just moved out of 6 of Wands into 7 of Wands, and that 21 degree mark is a degree of, bear with me a second, Sagittarius, I believe. So this is beautiful. This is all about time to go out there. It's expansion in the highest sense of the word, but that 21 degree is also 21 in tarot. That energy is that of the World card. So there's a grand wrapping up that's happening now as Mars moves through the final decan of Leo. It's already waged war for the inner child, and now it's putting up the barriers to protect it. And in doing so, it's going to begin to challenge us to see all the ways where we're not protective of our inner child. It's going to challenge us to see all the ways that we've hurt ourselves by not having that protection. It's going to challenge us to do that so that we then rise up and find new ways to honor. Right? Because you need that protection and that honoring of your inner child in order to move forward with that Venus energy of connecting with yourself truly and being who you are. You need to know who is allowed in your light and who isn't. You need to know who is safe to be in your resonance, who is safe, who is a safe container, who allows you to be yourself. You need to know that. And that Mars energy is kind of preparing us for that too. Yes. So we got Jupiter at 8 degrees Taurus. 8 degrees is a Scorpio energy. So it's mirroring Scorpio and Taurus are, of course, sister signs. And that Jupiter energy is still helping us to expand our self-value, our true value of self, to discover it and to expand it here on the earth, and to be able to begin to accrue the abundance that should have always been ours had we been connected with this truth. So it's, again, this energy of recovering the Taurus field, recovering the fullness of your energy, but it's becoming more of a real-time expression with this Taurus energy. Okay, I don't think I'm going to go through every other one because these are the planets that move a lot slower, and so there hasn't been much movement since last week. You know, the node is at 0 degrees Taurus right now, south node 0 degrees Scorpio. We are in this alpha omega. Anytime the degrees are at 0, it's like an alpha omega portal, and because we're dealing with Taurus and Scorpio energy, this is a portal that's taking us into higher levels of, well, value, higher levels of self and collective value. This is a portal that's taking us into the new earth financial system that's based upon how we value self, because how you value self then becomes how you value others. And this new earth financial system is a frequency game, which is why it's so important right now to connect with the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are, you'll feel good in that. And that's what activates your light body, and that's what gives you your frequency, and that's what connects you with your divine resources, and that's what connects you with your true abundance that then becomes real on the earth planes, as it always has been in the cosmos. Okay, so yes. We've still got Lilith and Leo that's working with that Venus and Mars that's helping us to deal with all of the woundedness where we have been shut down and silenced and put in the corner and made to dim ourselves and our light and all the ways we've repeated and done that for ourselves. We're being challenged now as we move through this first decan of Cancer season. We're being asked to find the things that support our light, support our shine. We're accessing our light bodies. We're no longer allowed to be around things that don't support the fullness of our light, because when we're around beings and situations that don't support the fullness of our light, we can't operate our light bodies in the fullness of what they actually are. So yes, I think that's all I'm going to go into for this mid-moon tarot astrology report. I hope that this was helpful and insightful. If it was, do the YouTube thing. I welcome you to do the YouTube thing, to hit that like button, to share this with anyone who is, you know, who likes this kind of stuff, you know, like, share, and to subscribe if you haven't already, and to comment below. I did see all your beautiful comments from the last video, and I will get back to them all. I have been in like a transitory, it's 22:33. I've been in a transitory state myself, integrating a lot, being activated a lot, dealing with some beautiful changes in my own life that this season has brought in. So please forgive me for not actually responding to all of your comments from the last video, but I did receive all of them, and I will be getting back to all of you guys. I thank you so much for all of your support. I thank you that you are helping me to build a life I love, because I do love delving into these energies and sharing them with you guys, and I do love hearing back from you and knowing that the wisdom that I've accrued and the things that I'm channeling are helping you to make sense of your own truth, and helping you to shine brighter, and helping you to connect deeper. That brings joy to my soul. That helps to magnify and increase my own light and my own purpose. And I thank you sincerely from the fullness of my heart for granting me that opportunity. So I love you guys. I send you so much love. I wish you, until next time, a few days, when I'm going to do the full moon in Capricorn, which I'm super excited about if you couldn't tell. I wish you guys joy, love, peace, balance, harmony. I'm going to say joy again. Focus, motivation, all the things that you desire and that you need, and is ultimately yours when you're walking in the fullness of your divine truth anyway. But sometimes, you know, we forget who we are, and when you forget who you are, may the light of your truth shine even brighter. That's my wish for you, so you can find your way back home, which is the sun, you know, Leo energy. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Until next time, be well.